is what I think about movies. I've been thinking about this for a while, actually, so I need to make a video. Um, Movie writers, movie producers, and actors, and everybody, it's amazingly creative. Very impressed with the skill of American movie makers. Um, but I think it's time we try to start to change and make movies kind of make room for some new genre of movies and get rid of another genre of movies. Um, I think we should try and curb horror movies. Uh, Studios make movies to make money, and people like to watch horror movies. But I think both people who make the movies and the people who go and pay for the movies, watch the movies, should try and steer clear of horror movies because it, it propagates negative emotions, and it kind of makes, if you watch a lot of those, which I'm sure a lot of people are horror movie junkies, kind of makes you feel like that's what the world is. It's like a reflecting of what you believe the world is. And if everybody believed the way that a horror junkie believed, if everybody believed that your neighbor is an axe murderer, or there's negative drama all the time, somebody at the beginning you think is cool, and then they turn out to be nuts and kill everybody. If you believe that, then you'll support it in real life. You might just be that person, and you'll tolerate it. And so I think the first thing, if we really do want to live in a utopia, in a world that's peaceful, that doesn't have problems, we should try and ignore those problems exist. There's plenty of other ways to fight those problems and pay attention to those problems and fight them. You can vote for the right politician. You can join some action group. You can write letters. You can do this or that or the other thing. You don't have to acknowledge evil's existence by paying and watching it and getting your adrenaline pumped up from that. There's plenty of other ways to pump up your adrenaline. You can go to the gym. You can go running. You can do a sport. You don't have to sit on your ass and watch people get hacked to pieces. And so that's one genre I think we should try and get rid of, or make it kind of like an underground genre, not another one of these big blockbuster movie genres. And then thrillers with criminals. It's very interesting, but just we seem to glorify criminals a lot, and even in the TV too, like with Sopranos and stuff. I never wanted to watch Sopranos and reality shows of gangsters and this kind of thing. Like if you upload videos of being like me, or doing something neutral, but trying to do something that you think is positive, and then people like have a problem with that, and those same people probably are unfazed by going to a horror movie or watching some person brag about some scam they pulled or something. People, it seems like a lot of people have their priorities mixed up, upside down. And people only have so much amount of money to spend on movies. So if you have these horror genres and these thrillers with people dying, like Seven. What are other movies? Seems like most of the movies out there, you need a villain, and it's like we need a villain, and we don't need a villain. We don't have to have villains in this world as human beings. In the universe, yeah, evil exists, but it's just from stupid people coming up through animals and just not knowing any better, and you have to work through that. But we don't need to watch it. We don't need to get our villain quota for the day. Let's try to, and we only have a certain amount of money to spend on movies. So if we can get rid of the horror movies and these thriller movies with villains and just even action movies, then we can free up space to have educational movies, self-help movies, movies with that when you leave the movie theater, you know something new, and you're excited about something, you're excited to do something, and you feel good about the world, because the world's a good place. A lot of countries, and third world countries and places, there's lots of evil people all over the place. Yeah, it exists, but there's also lots of places in the world, and parts of America and other countries where everybody's cool and it's all good. And so if we focus on that, then we can spread the goodness, and we don't, if you focus on negativity, then it's easier for the negativity to grow. And so I boycott those kinds of movies. I don't watch them. If I see it on TV, I change the channel. I never rent it. And if it's me, renting a movie for myself, I never rent like a action movie or some kind of movie that has like this special agent had to do this, that, and the other thing to get these bad guys. I mean, there are good action movies, like fun action movies that are action. Definitely will always be in the mix, but I mean, just like movies that portray criminals as being intelligent. And there are intelligent criminals, but it's like, let's not praise criminals. Let's ignore them. And then, we can all pretend that it's a beautiful world, even if it's not a beautiful world. We can pretend that it's a beautiful world. And it'll be a lot easier for us to actually make it a beautiful world if we begin by pretending it's a beautiful world, by ignoring all of the ugly shit out there. There's other ways to kill the ugly criminals. So that's one aspect. Another thing I wanted to say was, as far as like, I think we should have more historical movies. That's the best way to learn history, is with a movie. It's the most entertaining way. And there's not enough historical movies. There's tons and tons of these other genre movies, but like once every 2 years you come out with a historical movie. And a lot of historical movies aren't even accurate at all. Like there's a movie about the Trojan War called Helen of Troy, and they totally butchered the story of what happened. They just called it Helen of Troy to make people interested in the movie, and then they rewrote the whole story. And if you do that, then people are going to start, in 100 years, you're going to start arguing about what really happened. We don't all have time to study the history books, Our history books have to be our movies, so our movies should be accurate. And another thing, black people, it's great that a lot of movies are coming out with black people, being doctors and making money and stuff, but let's have some black movies of like Nubia, some ancient civilization in Nubia where it portrays black people in ancient days as being civilized. And there have been plenty of Nubian civilizations, that are recorded. And so let's make a movie about one of those. And, because not all Africans were primitive giraffe hunters, or whatever, warring tribes. And I also want to see more. I like Star Trek type movies. Let's try to get rid of the evil alien movies, alien invasion to kill us. All of them are all about aliens coming down to kill us. Why can't we have some more movies about aliens coming down to help us? And portraying other planets as not being at war all the time. We think that other planets are always at war, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're peaceful society. Maybe the whole movie, from start to finish, can be from an alien civilization, maybe how they relate to us, but the whole movie, there's no war, there's no people dying. It's just some other drama, some other cool thing going on, you know what I mean? So that's what I think about movies. Anyway, that's my 10 minutes.